Good morning, boys and girls. Hello, how are you? I hope everyone's listening to their tatis and their mommies and making sure not to do anything that will upset them on this Erev Shabbos, because it's a big mitzvah to get ready for Shabbos, and your tati and mommy are trying to get ready for Shabbos. And this week's parsha, it says Vayikra. And who knows that the word Vayikra has a little small aleph? You know why? So you should ask. I'm just joking. There's many reasons why it has a small aleph. Let me tell you a story that happened with the Chofetz Chain. And then we'll explain to you why it has that small aleph. Okay? It's usually when you start going to yeshiva for the first time, what do? You come to the Rebbe, and the Rebbe goes, Vayikra Nerach Gerufen. El Moshe. Who called? Hashem. From where? From Yalmait. Right? How did he call? Leimar. Azoit Suzagin. But the word Vayikra has a small aleph. Let me tell you a story that happened with the Chofetz Chain. Nothing to do with the small aleph. But there's a lesson to be learned. And that I'm going to tell you. And you could say it over at the Shabbos table with the story. And your father's going to be so proud of you. You let me know what he did. If you get 2 times yayin or extra Shabbos treat or Shabbos nash or Shabbos candy, Shabbos party. Oh, all these things are so yummy and delicious. But you know what's more yummy and delicious? The Heilige Torah. That's right, Moshe. You got it. The Heilige Torah is more delicious. So let me tell you the story of the Chofetz Chain. The Chofetz Chain wrote many, many Sfarim. Mishnah Berurah, another sefer that he wrote was the sefer Shmiras Halashon. And one time the Chofetz Chain asked someone, "Are you able to go ahead and sell my sefer Shmiras Halashon for me? Could you go around to the different cities and sell the sefer?" And the man, of course, listened to the Chofetz Chain, and he was an excellent salesman. "Excuse me, sir, would you like to buy the sefer? It's written by the Chofetz Chain. It teaches you about the halachos." And he would go around from city to city. And one time he comes back to the Chofetz Chain and he says, "I'm sorry, Chofetz Chain, I know you asked me to sell your Sfarim, and it usually goes so good, but I can no longer sell your Sfarim." And the Chofetz Chain said, "Why can't you sell my Sfarim? You're such a good salesman. You make so much money. You make so much commission. You're the best businessman. You're also letting people get the heilige words of the Torah, and you're getting people that are able to learn the halachas of Shmiras Halashon." Because before the Chofetz Chain wrote it, there was in the sefer that put everything together with all the halachos. What are you allowed to say? What are the different ways you're allowed to say Lashon Hara? If you're ever allowed to say Lashon Hara, if it's L'to'eles, if it's in front of 3 people, if it's for a good reason, shidduch information to help the person, different reasons why you're allowed to say maybe you're allowed to say Lashon Hara. Otherwise, you're not allowed to say Lashon Hara. Chofetz Chaim asked the man why. He said, "Let me tell you what happened. Let me tell you a story." So it's a story in a story. Okay? He says, "Let me tell you what happened on the last time I went and made my rounds to sell your sefer. I went to the city, and I went to one city, and I said, can I come and say and give a drasha about what the halachos of Shmiras Halashon are in the shul? And then if people like it, they'll buy the sefer." They say, "No, in our shul, we already have a rav. We don't need you." And I went to a second shul and a third shul. I went from shul to shul in the city, and nobody, they said, "We don't, you're not a rav. We have a big rav. He has a long beard, and he goes like this. We don't need you to say a drasha in our shul." And finally, I got in the Taylor shul, the 7th shul I tried, a bunch of amaratzim. You know what amaratzim are? Lazy, no goodniks. The people that sit in the back of the shul and all they talk about is how the chalent and the kishka by the kiddush is going to come out. They're not interested in the davening and the learning and the Torah. And they said that's the only people that were labeled to listen to the shir. And he said, "I'm going to go." And he got up and he started saying his shir. The Chofetz Chaim teaches us that Lashon Hara is such a shvera avera. It's so chamor. There's so many isurim. And he started going on. There's this isur and that isur and the klalois and the isurim and the lavim and 17 different isurim. He says, if you think about it, if anyone here would have a bowl of soup a big bowl of chicken soup like your mommy makes that's so tasty and delicious, and we like it with the knedlach and the lakshin mixed up, a little salt and carrot, delicious. Always make sure to eat the carrot and the broccoli because those are the best vegetables. It makes you healthy and strong, so you'll be able to learn Torah. And what are you here for? To learn Torah, right? That's right. Very good, Baruch. So, he says he got up and he said, if someone has a big pot of chicken soup and a little milchix falls into it, a drop of butter or milk, what do? Freeze! We go to the Rav. Basar b'chalav. It was hot, it was cooking. The milk can't be eaten cooking. Chas v'shalom, we would never eat it. How could we eat such a crazy... Impossible that we go. He says, you realize Basar b'chalav is only one lav. And we wouldn't stay away. Lashon hara is 17 lavim. How could we speak Lashon hara? There's so many different problems and so many different lavim and assays. It's not possible. How could you speak Lashon hara? And he's trying to give them musar that they shouldn't speak Lashon hara. And he's finished his speech, and it was so, and he thought he gave such a good speech, and the Chofetz Chain said, that's excellent, that's exactly the speech that I want to give, that's what's going to help sell the Sfarim, you're doing great. And the man said, but you know what happened? I heard someone in the back say, really? Basar b'chalav is only one lav? And Lashon hara 17? I'm going to tell my wife not to be so makbid anymore. Chas v'shalom! Everyone say hi to Chana, my friend. She's my big helper. Chas v'shalom. And that's what happened. And he said, if I heard someone say that they're not going to be careful on Basar b'chalav for my speech, I can't give this speech anymore. And the Chofetz Chain told him, don't worry about it. Don't worry. Chana, you heard that? Don't worry. Say don't worry. Say don't worry. Let me hear you say it. Everyone wants to hear you say it. He says, why not worry? Because you have to, one person would get musar from the speech, or maybe one person would have a hirar tshuva. That means they're going to decide that they're going to change, or they're going to be better. The whole thing is worthwhile, because you have to start small, and you have to try to reach just a little change. You're not going to change everyone overnight, just a little small change. And says Rav Yaakov Kalitsky, that's the small aleph of Vayikra. Vayikra, small aleph. All you need to do is make a small change. And that small change is going to lead to a big change. But we don't have to change the whole world overnight. We only have to do a small thing. So everyone go ask your mommy, Ma, is there something that I could do for Shabbos? Maybe I could cut the paper towel. Maybe I could put the Shabbos lights on top of the switches. Maybe I could make sure that the bathroom garbages are empty. Maybe I could turn on the lights in the Shabbos lights or the special Shabbos candles. What's something I could do for Shabbos? Did you set the table yet? Maybe I could set the table. One small thing. Let's do it. And that's how you grow. And that's how you get big. And that's what the Chofetz Chain was teaching us with this story. And that's what the small aleph is. Everybody, have a great Shabbos. We'll see you next week.